I'm Christina.
And I'm Piper.
Welcome to the I Want to Be Like You podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode is called Mother May I Ask a Few Questions. I'm going to be asking my mom some questions I have about when she found out she was pregnant and when I was little.
That's right. Nothing is off limits, and I told her she could ask anything, big or small. So let's dive right in.
Alrighty. So the first question is, what is the best advice and the worst advice you've ever received? It doesn't have to be while you were pregnant with me or raising me. It can be whenever.
But in relation to you?
Yes.
The worst advice I can say, hands down, would be that I should keep anything difficult that's going on from you. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes parents can make, because this idea that parents have to look impenetrable by their kids or perfect is so bizarre to me, because I can't speak for everyone, but I don't want to talk to someone who seems perfect about my fucking problems.
Yeah.
I want to talk to someone that's also a mess. I want to know that they know what they're talking about. And I think that's great about you and me, because when you were little, I used to get so paranoid about you seeing me cry or you seeing me have a hard time or anything like that. Like, now I always made sure that you understood that I was never going to fail you.
Yeah.
No matter what I had to do, you were going to be taken care of. But I realized pretty early on, actually, that there's nothing wrong with you seeing me upset or you seeing me cry or you knowing about really horrible things that I've gone through or dealt with, because I want you to know that you can come to me as well. Mm-hmm. So I have to admit that advice typically comes from the older generation. We're talking
Radio Shack.
What the hell?
Like that kind of
Yeah, I'm like going to Radio Shack and I'm like, parenting advice, anything at all, I'll take it. No, I'm talking about like my parents, like grandparents. Oh my Jesus, what? No.
You know, like from the 80s.
No. Oh. Why would I go to Radio Shack for parenting advice? What is that?
No, or like people from like the Radio Shack times.
I'd go to Bob.
80s.
I'd probably go to Bob from Stranger Things. Who wouldn't want parenting advice from Mikey from the Goonies? Seriously. Or Sam? He the real MVP.
Seriously.
Frodo and his stupid whiny ass. Anyway. But no, that's probably the worst advice. The best advice, I don't even know if it would be considered advice. But it was from your Aunt Patty. And I don't think it was really advice. But I also don't know if she knows how much it meant to me. But when you were just under a year old, it was really, really difficult for me. And I was in a really dark place. And I told Patty that I just didn't know if I could do it. That I didn't know if I was going to survive and if I was going to be the mother that you needed.
You always
and
are.
She told me that it didn't matter if I thought I was a perfect mom, because you thought I was.
You are. Do you want the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. What were your... I know... sorry. I know that when you, like, took the pregnancy test, you took, like, them over and over again because...
Oh, my God, Piper. I took, like, 12.
Because you thought they were fake, so you kept
I didn't think they were fake. I thought they were broken.
Right.
And it actually wasn't me that bought, like, 12. It was your Aunt Jessie. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you did realize that you were pregnant with me, what was going through your mind? And, like, thoughts?
Sheer panic. Just sheer panic. But full disclosure, I don't care how cheesy it sounds, and I don't care how weird it sounds, and I don't really care how many people are like, you're so full of shit. Like, okay, whatever. You can think that. Jessie was there, and she saw it. And I knew I was pregnant before I took those tests. I really don't know how, but I will literally never forget. I've told you the story before of me and her sitting there watching Time Traveler's Wife at the movie theater, and we had just finished like a day of swimming and drinking nonetheless. I say a day of it, like we had margaritas in the pool. Yeah, at her mom's pool. And we were just sitting there watching the movie, and it was a scene where her friend is pregnant, and she's like, oh, feel my belly, it's kicking. Like, also, I can't speak for all pregnant women, but like, don't fucking touch me. I don't know what that is. Like, don't touch me. But that happened, and I don't know what it was, but I was just like, oh my God. And I literally looked over at Jessie and I went, when we leave here, I need to get a pregnancy test. And she looked right at me and went, okay, are you late? And I went, no, I need to get a pregnancy test. I wasn't late. I wasn't late on my period yet. I literally had no reason to think that.
Wow.
And she looked right at me and went, okay, freak. And then we got to Kroger, and I didn't even finish peeing on the stick the first time, and it was like blaring. And that's why me and Jessie were like, this has got to be broken, right? Like, they don't work that fast. It's got to be broken. And she was like, right, it's broken. I'll go get some others. And she went and got like any and all brands. I mean, honestly, there were just so many. I shouldn't be surprised that your Aunt Jessie and Aunt Patty are the ones that have been there for you and me through everything. Because even in that situation, we're so young, and Jessie's younger than me.
Yeah.
And all she knows is that whatever it is, whatever the answer is, we're going to have lots of fact checking going on. Mm-hmm. So she got, I think it was something like 5 different brands.
Wow.
And they each came in those like packs of 2. Mm-hmm. So, or the first one was a pack of 3. So yeah, it was like 12, 13 tests that we took.
Wow.
Something like that. And I took all of them, and then we were just sitting there. And I remember I started to undo the second one to take that one, and Jessie looked at me and she said, honey, in a second the kid's gonna stick their hand out and slap it out of the way. I was like, yeah, so that was that.
So the next one is, what was your favorite year of just us?
Just you and me?
Yeah. But like, did we either went on like trips or something, or like just like watched movies like we always did on Fridays?
I really loved the Spotswood house.
Same, and I miss going to
I know. I really loved the Spotswood house. That was the first, like, we had our apartment, and I was proud to have that apartment because I had gotten it by myself. But the Spotswood house was the first place that, like, it was ours.
Yeah.
And
like, there wasn't anyone like
right, there wasn't anyone like, you know, I didn't see like no one was like connected to us.
Yeah.
But I loved the Spotswood house. It was little, and it was just perfect. I loved it. It was the perfect size for you and me. And
Stella and Binks.
And going to Spin Street every Friday for me to pick a movie and you to pick a movie. And then going across the street to Perkins and eating just you and me. I loved that. That was definitely my favorite.
I definitely feel like if you weren't married to David, that we would still do that sometimes.
Well, not the Spin Street part.
Well, yeah, but like we could go to Perkins. We could go like somewhere else, like Petco.
Yeah. Oh, that would be really good because I haven't brought enough pets home.
Okay. What were some of your favorite shows to watch while you were pregnant with me?
I'm pretty sure you already know these answers.
Do I?
Yeah.
I know what the Friends.
Yeah, Friends, specifically the season while Rachel was pregnant, because that is the most accurate depiction of pregnancy.
And when Pam is
and Pam being pregnant, yeah. Especially where she's panicking and she's like, I can't do it, you know. But Rachel, when she's like, that's right, still no baby. Like, it's just, you know, that moment, and then the moment where Ross is like, honey, why don't you would you like to have a seat here? And she's like, you haven't done enough. It's just, it's so pure and real, I feel. Like, it's just, it's I didn't mean for that to rhyme, it just kind of happened. But yeah, it's perfect. I love it. So, yeah. Friends. Obviously, Charmed. You Are Named Piper. Holly Marie Combs. It's where it's at. She's the best. I love her. I know that I had you, and then all I heard about was how much you loved Phoebe.
Okay. Alyssa Milano's great, okay?
I didn't say she wasn't, but she's not Holly Marie Combs, and she's not Piper.
True.
So,
I definitely feel like Piper
you're
suits
definitely
me
more. Yeah. When I look at you, I'm not like, it's Phoebe. I'm like, it's Piper. Or Pipes. Like, I mean, so. But Charmed, Friends, and obviously lots and lots
One
of
Tree
Buffy.
Hill. Oh.
No, girl. I didn't watch that till you were like 3.
Oh. So, I guess we'll have to ask them, but personally, how do you think your parents changed when they found out? Or, like, when you told them that you were pregnant?
My mom was really great. As always, she was just there for everything. She went to the doctor's appointments with me. She helped me figure out, like, the hospital stuff, any classes I wanted to take. She tried to make sure I had everything I was going to need. Now, of course, Tony, being the absolute dick that he is, created problems for us later after you were born. But, no, she was amazing during my pregnancy. She never let me go to any appointments alone.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah. Pop did not take it very well in the beginning. But he came around, and now he's a fantastic granddad to you and the boys, and, you know, everyone's going to react to something like that differently. So I honestly can't blame him for having such a bad reaction, because on some level I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Alrighty. So, if you could give your 19-year-old self advice, what advice would it be? Or 20, since...
No, it'd probably be 19. As sad as this sounds, I would probably let myself know that I don't need other people as much as I think I did. I think a lot of my depression and anxiety and loneliness, for that matter, came from thinking I had to have someone with me, and I didn't. Now, your daddy loves you very much, and I know he's around, and you get to see him, and I love that. But it was, the thought of doing it alone was so daunting all the time, and the amount of pressure that was on me was so stifling. But I wouldn't trade that for anything. I absolutely love the relationship you and I have, and I don't think we would have had that if it wasn't just you and me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that we would have the trust and love and the humor and the bond that you and I have. You know, like, our relationship is just something it's not seen anywhere else with anyone else I have in my life, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Okay, this is just like a funny random one.
Okay.
What's a secret you always kept from your mom?
My mom? Well, it's not going to be a secret anymore, I guess. You mean, like, even to this day?
Yeah. If you have any. If you don't have any for your mom, then for your dad.
Oh, God. There's tons from Pop. Love you, Dad. Man, I'm going to have to think about that. A secret that I kept from both my parents is probably that I skipped way more school my senior year than they think I did. They think I skipped a bit because of the time that Pop found me upstairs. Hiding in the guest room. But in reality, towards the second half of my senior year, I already had so many credits and such a high GPA that I probably skipped, like, I shouldn't have been allowed to graduate. Let's just put it that way.
Oh my goodness,
I
Mama.
know. I was, like, leaving the house in the morning, and I was straight up going to Nick's house in Countrywood over there.
Mama.
And just going back to sleep or, like, hanging out.
Wow.
Yeah. when the vice principal at Arlington finally caught me. I never got in trouble in high school. I never did anything. I pretty much wasn't noticed.
Oh.
And so when he had to pull me out of class, he was like, Christina, you've never even been in my office, not once. And I was like, nope. And he was like, and you wait until now. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I really shouldn't let you graduate. And I just kind of stood there, and he goes, but I would have never, I've never even talked to you for being in trouble about anything. He goes, so I'm just going to give you in-school suspension. And he was like, just don't do it again before graduation. And I was like, okay. And then as he was walking away, he literally turned around and looked at me and went, you just walked out too, didn't you? No one even stopped you. And I went, one time Miss Dixon, that was our guidance counselor, I was like, one time Miss Dixon stopped me and was like, did you leave something in your car? And I was like, yeah. And she literally watched me walk out. Like, the first graduating class of Arlington really screwed the rest of those guys because I hear their rules are pretty strict now.
Wow. The girl in Mean Girls, Milo, she goes to Arlington, and she was telling us over the summer about how, like, some of the rules are so bizarre. And I was like, wow, I bet my mom probably enforced some of those rules. Like, I was literally thinking
I bet my mom's graduating class was responsible for that. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Wow. Surprised you graduated. What's a day you think you'll never forget?
With us?
Yeah.
Probably the day we got stranded in the Chicago airport because of American Airlines.
Yeah.
No, American Airlines can for sure kiss my whole ass. But, yeah, I think it would have to be that day because even though we got stranded for, like, literally almost 2 whole days. Like, they just left us there. Me, you, and David, we had so much fun in that airport. I bought so many Chicago things. I have a whole suitcase in the closet right now full of Chicago souvenirs because I had absolutely no self-control with those to-go margaritas. Girl, you loved it. Don't even me. No, the moment you realized I was like embracing just the fact that we were going to live at the Chicago O'Hare Airport for the rest of our lives, we bought so many souvenirs. I have like 3 Chicago hoodies in there, and I've never actually seen the city. We didn't leave the airport. We literally did not leave the airport.
You just have it.
I did. Yeah. So, but people wouldn't know that I didn't leave the airport because I have the souvenirs.
Yes.
And everyone knows that if you have the souvenirs, clearly you've seen the city.
Yeah.
And that's how that works, right?
I think so.
Is that one of the cats tearing up my damn door?
I think so.
Well, I'm going to skin him.
Well, that's nice.
You can always ask me anything.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions for me for now?
Nope.
Okay. I'm literally going to flick your cat in the middle of his eyeballs.
Don't. He's such a sweetheart.
He is obsessed with you, and he's having a panic attack at my door because you're in here.
He's fine.
Thank you so much for listening, and we really want to thank all the people that have been so supportive of Piper and I starting this podcast. We really appreciate it. We're going to talk about anything from silly things to really intense things, but I always promise that any podcast we post that has any kind of traumatic experiences or things that other people have dealt with, I'll be sure to include a trigger warning for you guys. We really love all of you, and we can't wait to continue this journey with you. If there are any questions you guys have or any topics you'd like us to discuss, feel free to either DM us on Instagram at I Wanna Be Like You podcast, or send me an email at Christina@IWannaBeLikeYou.com. And we'll be happy to address any kind of topic. Literally nothing is off limits for us. Tune in next Friday for even more ridiculousness.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more shenanigans. And be sure to visit our website at IWannaBeLikeYou.com.